long. We've got 3 hours. It's good to be with you. I'm Terrell.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judy. So it wasn't too bad for those of us driving in early this morning.
Yeah.
Let's see what the conditions are right now. Checking with Tracy.
Yeah, as we discussed yesterday, I felt pretty confident all of us would get here to work on time and without any weather problems. But the weather problems are starting to stroll on in, and I'm already hearing reports of some snow mixed with some ice. Some folks out in the western suburbs and southwest suburbs, even down into Kankakee, out toward Downers Grove, reporting they're hearing ice pellets hitting their windows. So all of that precipitation is moving to the east and northeast. And this winter weather advisory, it went into effect at 3 o'clock this morning, and it is going to stay in effect until noontime today. So let's look at the temperatures right now. As you heard Terrell say, it's not crazy cold. Yeah, we'll get to that for tomorrow. But right now it's 26 degrees out at O'Hare, 29 degrees right now at Midway, 28 in Gary, and 26 degrees right now in Joliet. So for the next several hours, this is going to be a situation where you're seeing snow and then all of a sudden it changes. The precipitation type is going to fluctuate for the next probably 4 or 5 hours before it does change over to some rain. So we'll have a look at your complete forecast. That's coming up, and boy, Roz, traffic and weather kind of holding hands this morning.
Absolutely, Tracy. Right volume, as you can see, and we have no reports of any incidents. Now, I did check with IDOT. They've got a full group out, so that's over 300 trucks. They're ready for these changing conditions. But we can show you some different snapshots all around the system.
So we can announce today that it is moving its global headquarters to Chicago. That will mean 200 more jobs in the city. Mead Johnson makes baby formula and other products.
Well, let's get an update again on weather and traffic as we have conditions changing. And
Enough this morning, how you may be seeing some snow, and then within seconds it changes over to freezing rain or sleet. And of course, what sleet is more like the pellets that you would see, where freezing rain is rain that falls, and then when it hits a surface, it freezes on impact. So something to keep in mind this morning. Our Skycast taking you through, of course, a lot of clouds, showing off precipitation through the morning, and it really does taper off here as we get into the early part of the afternoon. But this winter weather advisory, it does take us up until the noon hour today. Everybody included in this, even across southern Wisconsin, where you were issued that way early yesterday, over into northwest Indiana, really all across northern Illinois. So here's a look at our current satellite and radar situation, and mainly what we're seeing is snow, but I'm also hearing reports already of ice pellets. So around Naperville right now, and then you head southward down toward Manteno, toward Joliet, over toward the Grand Rapids area into Ottawa. You are seeing some precipitation there. Our future radar continues to bring snow and then an ice mix over the next several hours. You see by 9 o'clock this morning, of course, as the morning commute is winding down, it looks like the ice element may start to wind down by that point. But then you see by noontime, that's when we start to get some additional rain into the area. And then for the afternoon and evening rush, it looks like that rain is up and out of here. So it's going to be the morning commute that is going to be more challenged with precipitation than the afternoon and evening. Snowcast. This is suggesting we could see anything from 1 to 2 inches of snow, and that fits in with what we were talking about yesterday. In addition, ice accumulations could be as much as a few hundredths to maybe even as much as 1/10 of an inch. So the combination of these precipitation types is what prompted this winter weather advisory to go into effect. 26 degrees right now at O'Hare. The AccuWeather real feel is 16. We have a south-southeast wind at about 10. As you look at the temperatures, they are not really cold compared to what we have been seeing. But wow, we still have that very cold air that's going to be coming our way here tomorrow and Thursday. Right now it's 26 degrees out at O'Hare, 28 degrees now in Champaign, Lockport at 26, Woodstock at 28, 28 degrees right now over in Hammond, Indiana. Winds are going to be picking up throughout the afternoon today, but right now what is continuing to pick up the precipitation, and it is moving in throughout much of the area. So let's check in with Roz and see what she's seeing.
Well, we're on their INDOT website of some icing conditions along I-80-94, the Borman. This is the snapshot of the camera at Kennedy Avenue, and you can see the reflection here, some of this freezing rain starting to fall in that area. But for particularly eastbound along the state line and also a little bit east of I-65 at Central. That's where they're seeing the bulk of the issue. So be very, very cautious if you need to be driving around in northwest Indiana right now. On the Illinois side, what we are seeing primarily is dry pavement for most of the expressways. Now, as I was walking out here, I was just getting an email from Tanya saying that they were along 55 and they were starting to see some of that rain coming down. So again, caution is the word this morning because these conditions are going to be changing throughout. Here are a couple of snapshots that I wanted to show you from the IDOT website. This is I-55 at US 52 in the Shorewood area, and we're still seeing dry pavement. It looks a little damp, but we're not seeing any precip falling. And then as we take a look to the northwest along the Jane Addams I-90, here's the snapshot from the Tollways website at Roselle Road. And again, dry pavement over here. So it really depends where you're going to be driving. We will continue to monitor system-wide to make sure you get to where you need to be on time safely. Judy, Terrell, back to you.
Alrighty, Roz, thank you. It is
Tomorrow, not the day after that. We'll get to that 7-day in just a moment. Winter weather advisory, it starts us off here this morning. Stays in effect until noontime today. So let's take you around the radar. And, getting numerous reports. Just heard from out around the Downers Grove area. Start off with some pretty heavy ice. Now it's changed over to snow. And that is going to be very typical this morning. You may be seeing snow, and then all of a sudden, in an instant, it changes over to freezing rain or sleet pellets. So across the southern suburbs, Beecher, as you can see, down in toward Manteno, Minooka, over toward the Grand Rapids area in LaSalle County, Ottawa right now. Most of you are seeing a fluctuation between snow and the freezing rain up into Sugar Grove and Naperville. And our future radar has kind of that mix throughout the morning and throughout the entire morning commute. Perhaps tapering off somewhat by the end of the morning commute. Just great, right? And then as we get into the mid to latter part of the morning, I think we'll see some rain developing. And this afternoon we'll have rain and drizzle, but the bulk of that is eastward by the time the real heavy commute gets underway here the afternoon and evening. Still, our snowcast highlighting the potential for 1 to 2 inches of snow. It will be key with those accumulations just how much ice factors into this. And still, our ice cast is showing a couple hundredths of an inch or a tenth of an inch. And that's all the ice you need to create problems. And I do think that this is going to be continuing to be an issue this morning. 26 right now at O'Hare. AccuWeather Real Feel is 16. A look at the board, 22 at Minneapolis, 34 degrees right now in St. Louis, 29 right now in Moline. And our temperatures right now, all in the 20s. Pontiac, though, at 30 degrees. As we take a broader look at the satellite and radar imagery, you can see right now how the precipitation continuing to move to the east and northeast, some of it coming down fairly heavily. But again, later this afternoon and overnight tonight in our future cast, it is showing the fact that we will start to see some clearing, and tomorrow I do think there will be some sun out and about. So this morning, an icy help to dry it out a little bit more.
all right, so we're pushing for the winds.
So we're pushing for the winds to help dry out any pavement that may be kind of still wet tonight.
Got it. All right, Tracy, thank you so much. Let's check the roads now, see if...
Dollars. The Material Girl is returning to Chicago. Madonna's 35-city Rebel Heart Tour comes to the United Center on September 28th. Tickets will go on sale next Monday at 10 a.m. The tour follows the March 9th release of Madonna's 17th studio album titled Rebel Heart.
I've already seen people trying to get to...
And yes, wow, all over the Chicago area, precipitation is spreading in. We've been talking about some of the huge snowflakes we've spotted outside our State Street studio window. But there is a fluctuation in precipitation type this morning. At times you'll see snow, and then in an instant, really, it may change over to ice pellets. So we do have this precipitation that is continuing to spread throughout the area, and a winter weather advisory. It went into effect at 3 o'clock this morning, and it is going to stay in effect until noontime today. Well, right now, it's 25 degrees out at O'Hare. It is 27 degrees at the lakefront. 25 degrees, that's the temperature out in Aurora right now. 28 degrees currently out at Midway, where sleet is being reported, so some ice pellets there. 26 degrees right now in Joliet. I'm getting reports of some snow mixed with some ice in the Joliet area. 28 degrees right now out in Morris. So what you can expect high temperatures only in the teens around the area. So strong gusty winds are going to be with us here this afternoon, as well as into the day here tomorrow. Those highs in the teens, but look, finally, the weekend and a break. Roz?
All right, we are Tracy Butler standing by.
Yeah, and I've always said freezing rain really, it's the kind of the most dangerous form of precipitation because you may think it's raining and, think not much of it, but then it freezes on impact. And that's the dangerous element of that. We do have snow, and we have winds picking up. Visibility could become an issue in some spots, too, but the precipitation has spread all around the Chicago area. And the thing about this is you may be thinking, oh, it's just some snow falling, but in an instant, because of the temperature profile above in the upper layers as well as close to the surface, we are seeing this change in the precipitation types with very little warning. So winter weather advisory has been issued, will stay in effect until noon. And when a winter weather advisory is issued, it's not really for how much precipitation will fall, but the impact on travel. And so we are anticipating hazardous travel conditions around the area. And so that's why the Weather Service put us under that advisory. It's 25 degrees right now out at O'Hare, 28 degrees currently at Midway. Of course, we'll sort it all out coming up in just a few. Roz?
Now.
Having trouble sleeping? Experiencing hot flashes?